Hey JK, how are you doing today? Haven't done a live in a couple weeks, seems like. Just ran up to town to get some supplies. Now I'm driving home. We're supposed to get rain tonight. There's a rain cloud right there. I don't know if you can see it or not. Does it look like rain? I'm doing well. I'm actually debating, and I'm thinking about moving down past you, actually, all the way down to Corbin, Kentucky. So it's basically finding a place down that way that I can, call mine, and then making sure I can have my dogs. I'm actually looking at a piece of property that I can put like an Amish style cabin, but bigger than the one that I'm currently in on. And then fencing in like the backyard for the dogs. Because I really don't need a full functioning house. You know what? I just need a bedroom, shower, the lavatory, and front room and kitchen. I don't need that much space. Yeah, I decided I was gonna have chicken stir-fry rice tonight, so I decided I would run uptown and get some supplies. Yeah, they kept saying it was going to rain all day today, and we had rain overnight, then nothing all day, and now it looks like rain's moving in. How's the weather down your way? As you see, gas prices are like $3.89 to $3.99. Well, if Wisconsin's getting hit, that means we're going to get hit overnight. I know last night about 11 o'clock, storm moved in, and there was probably a lightning show for the first hour. I'll have to check the weather when I get home and get the dogs out. Yeah, I've been over helping my sister. Her husband passed about 5 months ago, and let me tell you, my brother-in-law collected this, that, and this other thing, but he was a big Coca-Cola collector. The signs that you put in your garage, Elvis, 8-tracks, cassettes, 45s. When's the last time you've seen a 45 or a 78? He has 2 of the old cabinets that you could put that holds 8-track tape players, and they both work. My sister is going to downsize on her furniture, and then they're going to sell the house. It has 7 acres of land. And They're the first house off the reservation up here. So, yeah, my sister's going to be downsizing. She's going to be moving into a house that my nephew actually owns. It's actually one of the very first houses he ever owned. When my mom passed, she left all of her grandkids a large sum of money. And he bought houses with his, and he still owns every one of his houses. He's rented them out, and the one that he has open, my sister's going to move into. He has two open, but she doesn't want to be directly across the street from him. So she's going to move into the very first house that he bought with his inheritance. So, yeah, she's going to move back down to Lansing. So she really doesn't have any reason to be up here now. Her husband liked it up here. She worked at the casino for 37 and a half years. So, and she's really close with my younger sister, so my little sister actually, was the baby of the family. So she's going to move back down to Lansing. Yeah, when I lived in Kentucky before, I liked it, so that's why I'm thinking about moving back down there. I really like it down there. It's quiet. I lived in Radcliffe, which, if you don't know where Radcliffe is, there's a little installation of the United States Army down there called Fort Knox. That is Radcliffe. I like getting up on Saturday morning and going flea marketing, garage sailing, and stuff like that. Yeah, at the end of this month, actually, up here in Shepherd, Michigan, they have a festival called the Maple Syrup Festival. And it's just, the whole town is dedicated to maple syrup and garage sales. So I'll probably be doing that the last weekend of this month. When I'm not garage sailing, I'll probably be over helping my sister with hers. Because she's calling it a yard sale, but it's more or less what's it called? Where you sell all the items when someone dies. I can't remember the wording. $3.75 a gallon. Yeah, it was nice up here yesterday and today. It was like almost 80. And our local ice cream parlor up here has finally opened for the season. I'm going to be going by it in a second. You're going to see people outside. It's actually right here, Dozie's. They kind of are packed. What do you think? People waiting to get that first ice cream of the season. Yeah, right now the oil change place says 75 degrees. Yeah, I was on Traveling Fools live the other Sunday night, this trivia night, and out of the blue I turned blue. He made me a mod. I was like, Traveling Fools, what are you doing? Yeah, I just got a flood watch warning. That's how much rain we've had up here. We don't need any more rain, that's for sure, but it's in the forecast all week. Yeah, there's some Amish built sheds right there, but I'm looking out of a place out of Scottsville, Indiana. There's a couple that I'm interested in. If I got the basic shell and did the work myself, I could get it for like $73.9. But if I have them finish it and just deliver it, I'm looking at about $110.12. So I'm debating in my mind which way I want to go. In other words, I'm debating if I want to be lazy. But if I do that, I will be having them build the end tables for inside, as well as 2 rocking chairs for the front porch. And the next building you're going to see, you should see it already. This is Soaring Eagle Casino, and the hill here is where they have all their concerts during the summer months, like K. Brown, Boston, Kansas, you name it, they've played there. Yeah, the Indian. This is actually part of the reservation. It runs from here and goes for about 4 miles. See, there's a big sign. And no Indian reservation would be complete without a liquor store. That's sarcastic. I actually have, my good friend actually is part of the tribe. And I actually know the chief. The newly elected chief, should I say. Great guy. Basically, and today, during my drive, I'm not going to joke about this, I've counted 20 trucks within 10 miles, all for sale, pickup trucks. That's all right. My little 4-banger is good on gas, and I don't need all those dollars flying out of my bank account, you know? So if I decide to pull the trigger on the Amish style cabin or cottage, whatever you want to call it, I would probably pick up a motorhome. That way I can live on the property while the cabin's being, connected to sewer, electric, and the dogs get to know the property as well. No, Amish-style cabin near Corbin. You know where Corbin, Kentucky is? It's about a half hour from the Tennessee line. It's actually where Buc-ee's is. On 75. Yeah, I found some land down there that I'm kind of looking at. It's already got a hookup for water from a well, septic, as well as a motorhome plug-in. Yeah, I like Corbin. It's close enough to Kentucky or Tennessee that you can make a run down to Tennessee like Knoxville in a couple, hour and a half. Matter of fact, if I pull the trigger on this, I would have to get a moving truck from like Penske, and their drop-off is actually in Knoxville. So I'd pick it up here locally with a trailer, put the car on the trailer, but I would probably drive just over into Louisville, get a hotel room, or not Louisville, but Lexington, get a hotel room, and call my nephew and his wife and take them to dinner, because they live in Lexington. She's actually a doctor at the university's dialysis unit. She's the main doctor there in Lexington at their dialysis unit. And if I do that, that nephew happens to be my oldest brother's son, who I'm really close to, so. And if I did move to Kentucky, they would be my closest relatives. And I'll tell you what, that boy can build things, let me tell you. He's actually a very talented woodworker. He's built furniture for my sisters, one of my nieces, and his mom and dad. But he's actually an architect. What's it called? Guys that build buildings. The ones that come up with the blueprints and all that. Architect. He's a very smart kid. That kid can draw. My dad was an artist. I can't draw if my life depended on it. My nephew doesn't even have to try. He inherited. They always say those that are artists, it skips one generation. And let me tell you, Kurt can draw anything, and his drawings are immaculate. Yeah. It's funny about, he dated this girl in college, and all of a sudden one weekend he was supposed to go home, and he didn't go home. And I actually was down there, and my brother called him and said, "Where are you at?" He goes, "I'm on my honeymoon, leave me alone." They had eloped, but he had good tastes. got a medical doctor out of it. I mean, for a wife. So she's really smart. So they're a great couple. Hey, it's the cheapest way to do it, you know? Why pay a minister, pay for a church, pay for a reception hall, pay for a cake, when you can just elope and, hey, if you give us a gift, give us a gift. Yeah? Yeah, I don't talk bad about any of my nephews. They're all good kids, all of them. Including the one that my sister's moving into his house. Her only son. Her only child that is still alive. My sister's daughter died about 7 years ago. Unexpectedly. She had got up with her husband that morning. Made him breakfast before he went to work, and she ate breakfast with him, and in the middle of breakfast she got a bloody nose, and she couldn't get it to stop, and all of a sudden it was a lot of blood, and her husband grew very worried, so he called 911, and they came and took her in, and they were in ER for about a minute and a half, and the doctor looked at him and said, well, if you know anyone that wants to say goodbye to her, they might want to come ASAP. While my sister was at work here at the casino, this is when she was still working, her husband got the call, called her, he didn't tell her what was wrong. And he hung up the phone from talking to my sister. And then he called my uncle that lives up here. He's a former Michigan State police officer. He has a disabled badge because he got disabled in the line of duty. So he called the post, and the post asked him what kind of car he'd be driving, and he described my sister's car to them, and he actually lives twice the distance from what the casino is to my sister's driveway. He lives on the other side of the casino. My sister pulled into her driveway. My uncle is standing there, told her to get out of the driver's seat, get in the back seat. My sister's husband jumped in the front seat, and my uncle hit the accelerator as they're getting on the on-ramp to 127 South to head to Lansing. There said one Michigan State trooper up front, one in back with their flashers, and they made it to Lansing, which is normally an hour trip. They made it to Lansing 27 minutes flat to the hospital. So I guess it pays to have a cop in your family, you know. Well, my sister and her husband managed to get there before she passed, and of course my uncle got to go in and say goodbye too, even though he's my uncle, but by marriage he married my auntie. So super nice guy, oh my gosh. And the funny thing is, my aunt and uncle never dated anybody else ever. They were high school sweethearts. And I didn't find this out until she passed, that my uncle was actually younger than my aunt. I never knew that. Well, the funny thing about my uncle was when I bought my Dodge Ram 1500 with the Hemi. He's a big truck guy, so I went over and showed him. He goes, "Just a second." He's wearing his house slippers, and he looked at my hand and said, "I'll be back in a little bit." Next thing I know, he comes out with sweats on and has his tennis shoes. I said, "Where are you going?" He's like, "I'm taking that truck for a drive." So he jumps on 127 northbound, and as he's doing it, he just doesn't put his foot on the accelerator. He pushes it to the floor. The next thing I know, that truck is doing 127 miles an hour. All of a sudden, I look behind us. There's a blue car with a red flashy on top. Michigan State Police. I'm like, "Oh, great, you got us pulled over." He said, he just starts laughing. He goes, "Watch this." The cop comes up, asking him for his proof of registration and license. And my uncle just opened his wallet up real slow to show that badge. He goes, "Is that license enough and registration enough for you?" And it also has his rank on there. All of a sudden, the cop outside the car salutes and says, "Have a good day, Lieutenant." And then he just says, "Just drive safe." Yeah, it's amazing what retiree badges and whatnot can bring you. Well, fields are starting to green up. Didn't see any turkeys out here tonight, but been seeing a ton of turkeys. The other night I seen about 25 deer in this field right here. There's deer out there now. I don't think you can see them. I'll try to blow it up. See? There they are. Can you see them? There's 5 or 6. Looks like 6. Oh no, there's more. 2, 3. There's 7 or 8. Maybe 9 or 10. I don't want to drive too slow. I just scared them now. Some venison steaks out there.